We're now talking and hearing more about it, right?
Fuck around the pussy!
Okay, so that's what I have to deal with.
I don't want your fucking truck in front of my house.
I don't want to be pushed and I don't want a finger in my face.
Please put away your cell phones. This is not a recordable event.
Let's go.
This is what we do. I'm a journalist, and I have been a journalist for the past 20 years, and that means I get to tell stories about what's happening in the communities in which I live. I've worked all over the country, including Oklahoma, Texas, Michigan. I was in Detroit, and now Miami. I decided that I wanted to be a journalist when I was in my third year in college. I had learned through some friends, through my communication department, that there was an internship available and you could intern at a news station. And I thought, wow, how fascinating is that? I'd like to know how that works. So I interned in a newsroom, and I really fell in love with the process of storytelling. And I also fell in love with the power of storytelling. Among the many things that we have to worry about when we do live reports, I'm actually in Mar-a-Lago covering the president today. Also having to worry about being on the edge of the water, which of course is beautiful, but also brings out the rats. No, I mean really rats running on that little ledge behind me. And a good thing that I only saw the tail of it as it was speeding that way, because if I'd seen it, I would have been screaming. We are so incredibly privileged as journalists. We witness history. I've covered some of the most important and historic events of our generation. You know, I've covered multiple presidential elections. Well, we're being told that we have to move immediately because, you know, obvious reasons the president is expected here. I've covered hurricanes, Wilma, Isaac, Irma most recently. And we are starting to see the beginnings of a little bit of flooding. And I want to talk about where we are right now. I don't even know what day it is. We've been in storm coverage for so many days. I have told stories of the devastated families from Katrina in Texas.
What are you mad at?
We mad at FEMA, George Bush, Big Perry, whoever, because they're not checking on us.
I have covered the Oklahoma City bombing. I have covered 9/11. I lived in Oklahoma when the first set of troops were deployed to the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. Within those big moments, there's also daily stories of everyday people who are creating change or impacting communities, and of course politics and the legislature. So I mean, I've done thousands of stories, and I'd like to think that I've made an impression and an impact on those people's lives. My barista just said, I don't look reportery right now. What do reporters look like? And he said, huh?
Some look very stiff.
Some look very stiff, he said. And the way his physical body language gestures look like we're supposed to look like there's something up or you know what. You could tell a story about someone and it could create debate. You could tell a story about something and it could create tension. You could tell a story about something and it could get people to open up their wallets and help people. The power of it is really humbling, and to be a part of that process and be a conduit to make that happen is really, really, really powerful and important. It's been significant to why I have stayed in this career in some of the most undesirable of circumstances, because I look at the big picture.
Don't do that to me. What is this for? That's an insult. Don't do that. You know what? I am so tired of you.
Oh, and we're gonna need you to bring a paper towel to wipe off your fingerprints. We don't want it. I love you, Daryl. Like an adopted cousin, strictly out of obligation.
You don't hear me because I can't stop laughing.
What is wrong?
Okay, how are we gonna fix it? Are we gonna fix it with coffee, ice cream, sex? What are we gonna? How are we gonna fix it? That's the order of how things
I
work.
think
Coffee,
sex is the
ice
only
cream,
thing that I have left.
maybe chocolate.
There's chocolate in that sex.
I knew that's what you're gonna say.
I can't stand you. Please don't post this.
The thing about being a journalist, you never stop working. It's not a job, it's not a career, it's a lifestyle. What are you willing to do and what are you willing to give up to get to your definition of success? Really, fear is a powerful thing. It keeps us from listening to our intuition.